Smash 4 brought a lot of interesting things to the table, but that's where the keyword is. I specifically said
8 seconds in and he's already yelling. This is going to be good.
That it brought a lot of things to the table. Now, on top of all that, you also have a lot of things that were removed from the game.
Oh no, we lost 5 characters in a mediocre story mode that you don't even bother to talk about. Yes, I'm going to act like there isn't any DLC for the game yet because there wasn't any announced when this video originally came out. I know it's old, shut up!
Namely, a lot of veterans, including Mewtwo, I mean, he's been removed, but I mean, you got Lucas, you got the Ice Climbers, you got Snake, and Ivysaur Squirtle. You have a lot of veterans that were removed from the game. Now, while I'm saying Sakurai didn't do a bad job with the game, like, the game came out beautifully. There were newcomers in the game, which were amazing. Pac-Man, Mega Man, they were great. Palutena is a great newcomer as well, too. But the key word here is that removed characters, veteran characters that people actually had an attachment to were removed from the game.
Yeah, it sucks that beloved characters were removed, but they all had reasons for being taken out. Technical limitations, time restraints, copyright issues.
I'm trying to explain the significance of a motion like that because this is a game which is on better hardware than all previous Nintendo consoles. This is the most powerful Nintendo console that exists. I mean, of course, because it's the most current one. So therefore, you would expect more features to be available on a console which is the most modern rather than things being cut. There was technically no reason that these veterans should have been cut from the game. No! That's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit pissed off at Smash 4 because there are things that seemed a little bit odd as to why he would do in the first place.
Okay, so this is a really annoying thing with not just Etika, but the whole Smash Brothers community as a whole, at least for me, crediting everything to Sakurai. I know, Sakurai works himself to near death on these games, but everyone acts like he's the only person developing the game. Yes, he had control over most of the game, and most of what went into it, but he didn't make or think of everything. It's like if I credited everything related to Star Wars to George Lucas, just George Lucas. It's stupid. Okay. Rant over.
I looked at a statistics chart of Reddit recently, actually today, that explained how people felt about the whole Smash 4 situation and certain newcomers and whatnot. And as you guys can see here, the least favorite newcomer is Dark Pit by a massive majority.
When did this video come out again? Oh yeah, back before any version of the game was released anywhere outside of Japan. I guarantee the majority of the people who voted on that poll hadn't even touched the game yet.
I don't know if someone at Nintendo is clueless about this, but I'm going to explain why people don't like Dark Pit.
That's gotta be hard because the majority of these people didn't even own the game! Also, let me guess, he's a blatant clone.
First off, he's a blatant clone. Like, the guy is literally a copy-paste of Pit.
Allow me to explain the differences between Pit and Dark Pit. Dark Pit has slower, stronger arrows with more knockback. All of Dark Pit's voice clips, taunts, and victory animations are completely different. Dark Pit has an electroshock arm that does slightly more damage and KOs from the side more easily. Dark Pit crouches slightly lower than Pit. Dark Pit also has a completely different final smash. There. That's all the differences. Is that good enough for you? Oh wait, never mind, you don't bother to address any of them.
Which isn't that much of a problem in the own series. Like, you know, canonically wise, in terms of Kid Icarus, that's fine. You know, it's kind of cool, he's edgy, whatever. Who cares?
Maybe you should actually, I don't know, play Uprising or at least watch a Let's Play before you start talking about how he was in his source game.
But the problem comes to Smash 4. Now, of course, characters can't be portrayed as they would be in their own initial series because there's so many characters to focus on.
So, characters shouldn't represent what they're like in their own franchise because there's too many characters.
So you have to take into account that when you put a character in there who doesn't have that much development in their own story explained, especially considering that Kid Icarus Uprising didn't really sell all that well.
Yeah, just a little over 1 million units, just a couple 100,000 below Fire Emblem Awakening. No big deal.
Then you have to understand that if he's a blatant copy paste, that people aren't going to have a preference for him because he looks exactly like the original, and Dark Pit looks exactly like him. He was a color swap in Brawl.
Yeah, he got his design from Brawl. They liked the Dark Pit skin in Brawl so much that they made him his own character in Uprising.
Like, come on, man. I don't want this whole thing to be based off of Dark Pit, but I have to express some points of concern about this whole thing with him.
Okay, I've just now come to the realization that you're complaining about having an extra character to play as. And it's not even at the expense of another character. The time they put into making Dark Pit, Lucina, and Dr. Mario didn't ruin the chance of a completely new character being added. The models were already made because they were going to be alternate costumes. They just gave them some minor differences from the originals and made them separate. Hell, if they had an extra week, I bet Alf would have been a separate character too.
But you know what? I was listening to reasons why I don't like him, but in actuality, the reasons why I don't like him are in relation to other characters, and I'm not talking about characters that weren't included, I'm talking solely about veterans. There is absolutely no reason why Dark Pit should have been included, and people like Snake, Ivysaur, Ice Climbers should have not been.
Technical limitations, time restraints, copyright issues.
The Smash 4 roster has to be the most confusing one out of all the games ever created in the Smash franchise up till now.
Excuse me, have you seen Melee's roster?
I don't understand what the logic was in that office when they thought of that roster.
Well, it'd probably be something like this.
Mr. Sakurai, we have the Dark Pit, Lucina, and Dr. Mario skins you asked for.
Oh, actually, looking at the time, and looking at how many characters there are, I think we can actually make these separate characters. Get to it!
Okie dokie, Sakurai!
Ever say that again.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Sakurai wanted there to be the same characters on both consoles for the 3DS and the Wii U. Now, that's understandable to an extent, but why limit what characters you can put on either version on the technical limitations of the other?
Well, maybe that's because people like to complain.
The Ice Climbers are a loved character. People love the Ice Climbers. Like, you can't get enough of them. They're cute, they're effective. I mean, sure you have the whole wobble combo thing, but I mean still, they're great characters, and there's no reason why they should have been cut from the Wii U simply because of not being on the 3DS. I know some people are like, oh, well, you know, he wanted there to be the same characters on both versions, so that's why one couldn't be on the one, not the other. Well, okay, alright then, so I mean, if he wanted there to be the same characters on both versions, I can understand that. So where's the practical use of that? Is there crossplay? Nah, is there the ability to do anything communication-wise between the two games other than, you know, controlling one with the 3DS? I mean, sure, the Wii U version hasn't come out yet, so that's where a lot of this mystery is.
Yeah, you probably should have waited for it to come out, because then you'd look significantly less stupid than you do right now.
But I don't see why he would make it so that the versions would have the same characters on them if there was no reason for it. Like, why only have the same characters for each version? Oh, because, you know...
You'd be bitching about that instead?
If, you know, if he put different... Like I can see a lot of people saying, if he put exclusive characters on the Wii U because it had better hardware than the 3DS, then the Wii U would sell.
Well, wait, isn't that a part of your argument? So you're saying the people who are arguing against you agree with you. Remember, kids, always script your rants.
And no one will buy the 3DS. Nigga, the Wii U is dying! It's dying! The Wii U is literally on its last leg!
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not doing fantastic by any means, but it's not a repeat of the Virtual Boy.
It's one of the worst performing Nintendo consoles of all time!
And only 2 years into its lifespan.
And you mean to tell me that you wouldn't put exclusive content on the Wii U due to technical limitations of the 3DS because people wouldn't buy the 3DS? The 3DS is fine!
Well then, by that logic, what's the point of making the 3DS version? If it's so inferior to the Wii U version, then there's no point in spending all that time and money on it.
Mario Kart 8 didn't save the Wii U. The Wii U was still on its last leg here, and you mean to tell me that you would limit the things you could do on the Wii U version simply because it couldn't be done on the 3DS? Why not just have the 3DS version have what it can support and then put extra content on the Wii U?
Actually, they did put extra content on the Wii U version. But you wouldn't know that because you didn't bother to actually wait for it to come out to make this rant.
I mean, the Wii U version didn't come out yet. We don't know if it's going to have exclusive characters or not, but from what Sakurai's saying, it's not going to. So then why not put exclusive characters? Like, why cut Lucas and Snake? Why? And Ice Climbers? For what reason? No! Why? When they can easily, we know they can be played on the Wii U, right? Obviously they can. I mean, Snake is a whole nother story because, you know, I guess that's third-party stuff and whatnot. But, you know, I mean, there's characters that were veterans of the series that shouldn't have been cut. And then let's go into the Dr. Mario argument, man, because this...
Oh, God. Well, prepare yourselves, I guess.
This is probably the most confusing thing out of everything we've talked about. I love Dr. Mario. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I don't like the Mario franchise, but I think Dr. Mario is one of the coolest suave characters in Smash 4. He's great. He's awesome. He has a much better competitive moveset than Mario, to be honest with you. So I mean, it's not about me hating on Dr. Mario.
It's just about you hating the fact that he got in before Mewtwo.
But the fact of the matter is that Dr. Mario, and of course I'm gonna bring his name up.
No! What are you doing? Do you realize what you're doing to my comic section?
And Mewtwo is the same Smash game, and yet he only brings back Dr. Mario, who not only is less relevant than Mewtwo, but is less desired as well.
Yeah, but Dr. Mario takes significantly less time to make, and also would satisfy people who kept complaining about Mario's lack of his original down B. You're comparing apples to oranges.
I'm not saying people don't like Dr. Mario. I mean, he's cool. It's great to see him back in the game. But why not bring back Mewtwo? There's no reason anyone should have been cut from this game. None, because this is the more superior hardware version of the Smash Bros. Game, so therefore more stuff should be put into them.
I actually agree with you. Why can't Nintendo just magically make technical limitations disappear?
The fact that characters were cut, it just means that there was some kind of ego going on at the office, probably.
I think the only ego here is yours.
I mean, I don't know. Just why were certain characters put in? Just because they wanted to keep the roster the same on both versions?
Actually, I think they put the characters in so you had someone to play as.
People would still buy the 3DS version even if they were characters that were only going to be on the Wii U because of the limitations of the 3DS. That's a given. If you put a game on a console and a handheld, obviously the console version is going to outdo the handheld. No! Dark Pit, and I have the game myself. You can't say that I don't know what I'm talking about. I have the goddamn game in Japan right now, like in Japanese.
Even if I hadn't played the game, I still would have come to the conclusion that you have no idea what you're talking about based on everything you've said in this video.
Excuse me right now. Dark Pit, there's nothing different about Dark Pit from regular Pit. Every single move they have is the same, minus the side B with the electroshock arm. That is so different. And their final smash, of course, Dark Pit just uses the staff, which he should have had in the first place.
Congratulations, you know about 3 out of 8 differences between Pit and Dark Pit. Mr. You can't say I'm wrong because I own the game.
In his moveset, but I mean, anyways, yeah, so Dark Pit is exactly the same as Pit. No! There's no reason that should have happened. That's another reason why people don't like him. No! Simply for the fact that he brings nothing new to the table. If Sakurai wanted to promote his own characters, then why the hell would you not give Dark Pit an original moveset? I thought you would have at least had the work to put in for that kind of thing if you wanted people to like him.
Time restraints.
But no, you just copy-paste Pit over to him and give him an electroshock arm and he's a new character when he was a palette swap in Brawl. You know, this same logic should apply to Lucina as well, but for some reason, I'm not that mad at Lucina being included.
I think you're just really biased in this argument because you've never played Kid Icarus Uprising, and are a self-proclaimed Fire Emblem fan despite only playing one game in the series, which also conveniently happens to be the only game Lucina is in.
I mean, I don't know, I should be, I guess, right? But I'm not. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's because she kind of fits that whole place where Roy used to be. I don't know, but I don't really mind Lucina being in the game too much. I mean, she's different in terms of like looks to Marth to an extent. No! I mean, it's kind of okay in my book, the Lucina thing.
I'm saying this as someone who has played both games and probably likes Fire Emblem Awakening a little bit more. Lucina is just as guilty, if not more, of being a clone than Dark Pit. They both look extremely similar to their base character. Dark Pit hits harder than normal Pit, while Lucina doesn't have a tipping mechanic. And while all of Dark Pit's moves are equal to or stronger than Pit's, all of Lucina's are either equal to or worse than Marth's.
But the Dark Pit thing. But here's the thing though. Lucina was a loved character from the Fire Emblem series. Awakening was a great game. It had a lot of publicity. People loved Awakening.
And a lot of people like Kid Icarus too. What's your point?
And seeing Lucina in, even though it was kind of sad that she had everything the same as Marth, which everyone will agree, it was kind of sad to see. No one, I'm telling you, you ask anyone who liked Fire Emblem, and they know that Lucina has all the same moves as Marth, they would be a little bit disappointed, but they wouldn't be mad because Lucina was a character that people wanted, people were expecting. I mean, well, maybe not expecting, but you know, people definitely didn't mind Lucina being in the game. Chrom not being in was a little bit of a letdown, but you know what? Oh well. We got Robin, which is great. But Dark Pit though, why?
Etika, buddy. Let me let you in on a little secret. He's a fan favorite character.
Why put him in and then make him a clone from the bot? Like, he looks like him.
Well, I don't see why they'd completely change a character's design just to make him look different from the character he's based on.
That's the problem here. Like, most clones don't look like they're subjects that they're cloning, you know? I mean,
what kind of logic are you running on? In Smash Bros, clones normally look like their original character in some aspect. Pichu, Young Link, Toon Link, Dr. Mario, Falco's wearing the same outfit as Fox, Lucas looks really similar to Ness, and Lucina is basically long-haired Marth. And with that, I'm done. I cannot take any more of this video because all he does is repeat the same stupid, illogical arguments for the next 15 minutes. I'm Clay, and have a good day.
Time to rant on a community that makes me question why it's real and why it exists. Today, I'm gonna do a rant on a very stupid community that I have so many complaints with. Today, I'm ranting on the commentary community.
Don't you just love it when someone judges an entire community based on a select group of people? Because that's what he does.
I have so many complaints and reasons to hate this community that I'm just going to list them down for today's rant. Complaint number 1. Commentaries are over-glorified. They are everywhere. They are boring.
They're boring if you don't do them properly. If you do them right, they're actually relatively entertaining and informative. That's why commentators like Akraloth, Half-Boiled, and Rion are so well liked. They're entertaining and informative, and they do their commentaries correctly.
And you can never get rid of them.
Well, obviously, if there's an entire community centered around them, there's going to be an abundance of them.
Now, I know that I've done commentaries in the past, and that I've had fun with those. That is why I put commentaries on my channel to spice it up a bit. That was before I stopped and thought,
people may disagree or show the flaws in my commentaries and videos in general to try to help me improve. Let's be honest, if you thought that, I wouldn't be commentating on this video right now.
wait a minute, do I really want boring videos to spice up my channel and make more people come to it?
Your commentaries weren't boring because they were commentaries. They were boring because of you. It's not the structure or subject of the video that makes it entertaining. It is you. It's like if you had an iPhone and it broke because you threw it on the ground. You can't say it broke because it's an iPhone. It broke because you threw it against the freaking ground.
Let's face it, commentaries are boring, and I should have realized that before I did my first commentary on Gurigorlo X. And you know what's worse? There are so many of these freaking boring videos that they somehow created a community based around them. I mean commentary after commentary after commentary. It just drives me insane.
Gosh, guys, why does this community built around commentaries have a bunch of commentaries in it? Why? No, I don't like it. Blah, blah.
Complaint number 2. Some commentators are snobbish idiots. Some commentators, when it comes to frickin' posting comments on the frickin' comment section, turn out to be snobs. And I'm pretty sure this has happened to Conman, and it has definitely happened to me too. And it's not like they're trying to be smart or actually use criticism. They just literally go like, oh, this video's bad, so you should feel bad. Well, who the heck are you to talk down to anyone?
Look, buddy, there's a difference between harassment and criticism. Stating your own opinion in a harsh or brutal way is not harassment.
These commentators think that they're perfect or that they're better than other people because they make perfect spot-on commentaries.
Okay, name one. Oh wait, you don't!
Yeah, just go to a random video and treat the one that made that video like crap because they're quote-unquote inferior. That definitely makes you look cool, right?
What you don't seem to understand is that a lot of people, when they act like this, are just doing it in character. Along the lines of someone like the Nostalgia Critic or Angry Video Game Nerd. But even if they did legitimately act like that, people would still not like them.
Wrong! It doesn't! It makes you look snobbish, and it makes you look self-centered. Congratulations! I hope you're happy, because without you, this freaking community would be a better place. Complaint number 3. Rion. Rion is the best YouTuber ever. Ooh, Rion makes the best commentaries out there. Ooh, Rion, he's awesome. This video is nothing compared to my precious Rion. You know what? I am sickened to freaking death of hearing about how awesome and how cool Rion is. Now that doesn't mean that I hate Rion, far from it. It's just that I get sick of hearing about Rion. It's always Rion. Rion, freaking Rion. I mean, it is really irritating because Rion gets all this praise from these obsessive, religious-like fans, and yet other videos get undeserved hate just because they don't have their precious Rion in them.
Weird. I never hear people mention Rion constantly, except for you and Mr. Conman.
I mean, I remember days ago, when I released that Conswag Eddy pilot, somebody came in and said that it freaking sucked because it had Conman, Coolio, and I in it, and it wasn't as good as his precious Rion.
So I dug around in the comments section of that video for a little bit, and I did manage to find a comment thread talking about Rion. So how about we take a quick little look at it? Okay, so he comments saying that he doesn't like the fact that all 3 of you guys are in one series. And then he makes a joke about Rion saving him. No actual comparisons to Rion, but let's keep looking. Blah blah blah, he doesn't compare you to Rion at all. Would you look at that? Conman called him a Rion clone. And congratulations, you just lied to your audience.
I mean, I can understand if you didn't like the animation, or the voice acting was bad, I can understand that. But just because it wasn't as good as Rion's videos, or it had my name on it, doesn't mean it's freaking bad.
Too bad that's not what he said.
Either give better reasons to not like my cartoon, or don't even bother posting comments on my videos saying that my videos are quote-unquote ew. In fact, if I hear about how the great and powerful Rion is so awesome and how he's so cool one more time, I swear I am going to snap someone's neck.
And that's how serial killers are made.
Complaint number 4. The nostalgia-tard commentaries. I know this is an old topic and nobody's talking about it anymore.
Exactly.
Complaint number 5. Co-op commentaries. As if regular commentaries weren't enough, there had to be commentaries with 2 guys watching an already existing YouTube video and pointing out the flaws of it. Are they any better? Good God, no! But I just feel like they're just a way of saying, hey, check out this guy's channel. He helped me with this commentary, so you should go check him out.
Or it's a way of stopping both of said people from commentating on the same thing, and giving them multiple perspectives on the same subject or video.
And honestly, if I wanted to do that, I would just make a video specifically made for a freaking shout out to him or her. Not invite him or her to come over to my house just so we could do a commentary together.
Oh, so I was doing it wrong. I was getting them to send me actual voice clips.
Also, I think that what one commentator says is something that the other commentator should have said without the commentator's help. Confusing, isn't it? Let me put it this way. I remembered in October when Agumon and Blue Flame did a co-op commentary on one of my videos. Blue Flame told me that his co-op commentary wouldn't exist without Agumon's help. He can say that till the cows come home. But it's still not going to change my theory that he didn't need Agumon's help.
You cannot honestly be this stupid. Of course his co-op commentary would not exist without Agumon, who was his co-op partner.
Complaint number 6. the bandwagon effect. This is something very common in the commentary community. I mean, it annoys the crap out of me. I know that some videos are bad and deserve to be commentated on, but if you're gonna commentate on some video just because it's made by one person that everyone else has commentated on, that just makes you look cheap. Oh, I'm gonna commentate on this video that Conman made because, I don't know, it's Conman, and everybody's commentated on Conman before I did. I just want to be part of the action. Oh.
Or they could supply a new argument, like one of the many people who was commentating on this video.
That, my friends, was an accurate imitation of someone wanting to hop on the bandwagon for no reason other than, oh, this guy has been commentated on by a bunch of other people, and I want to be part of the action. I mean, first Ben the Looney was a victim of this, and now Conman. I mean, come on, people. Conman is a village bicycle. Everyone's had a ride.
Conman was hardly a bandwagon. I really only saw like 2 or 3 different videos about him. And even then, if you become a bandwagon, it should probably tell you something about your videos.
Can't we all just stop for a second or two?
Bro, we already did. The bandwagon, if you can even call it that, died a while ago.
Some people do commentaries on Conman just for the heck of it. This is a video made by Conman we're commentating on. We need to be hip. We need to be now. We gotta get with the times. No effort needed. We just gotta do it for the sake of doing it. Complaint number 7. Some commentators assume that whenever somebody leaves the commentary community, it's just because they can't accept criticism.
Which is normally assumed when that person has been commentated on a lot and then rants on an entire community that's been criticizing their videos, and they refuse to apply those criticisms to improve their channel and videos as a whole. Like you!
I call bullcrap on that because some people have specific reasons for leaving the commentary community, and it's not because they can't accept criticism.
Well, yeah. Look at someone like my friend Youngblood Fantasy 91. He left because he grew tired of it. Or someone like Dark Agumon who was exposed to be a manipulative jerk.
I mean, where's the evidence that proves that they don't want to take criticism? Where is it? Nowhere, because you're just basically assuming things.
The evidence is when they've received criticism and ignore it. Like you!
Aw, what's the matter? Can't handle the fact that some people hate commentaries and the entire community as a whole?
Well, when they're as ignorant as you, yes. I'm bothered by how someone like you judges and assumes the whole community is terrible when you dislike one person in it. Or at least one person that you and Conman obsess over.
Well, you'll just have to get used to it. Well, I hope you learned something today.
No.
Warning. This video contains no sexually graphic images of any kind. If you came here to clop, you will be disappointed.
Gee, a video that has a title saying non-explicit doesn't have graphic images? Why? You'd have to be a genius to figure that one out.
Thanks, Henry, for that statement. Jeez, we're starting this co-op commentary on a bad note here.
Well then why did you leave it in the video? I mean, you saying that just implies that Henry's statement was not needed and you could have easily cut it out of the video. Even if it was a joke, I wouldn't let it pass because how you structured it was so unnatural and out of place, and there's no real build-up or anything for the joke to work. This is also adding in the fact that, Jim, you're not really that good of an actor, so your delivery along with the poorly structured joke makes it absolutely cringeworthy at best.
And speaking of starting off with a bad note, let the description be an indication of what's about to come.
That's what descriptions do.
Although the video doesn't show anything pornographic, the stuff that the guy says will disgust you completely.
Because people will always have the same opinion as you.
I think we can all agree that sex is real. The reason you're watching this video right now is because human beings are genetically programmed to want to reproduce, and they've been at it for thousands of years. So long, in fact, that they've managed to invent the internet, and to a lesser extent YouTube.
Actually, the reason I'm watching this video is because I saw a video of why ponies can be sexy, and I thought, gee, what kind of flimsy arguments are we gonna have here? And what did I get? Flimsy arguments.
And keep this in mind, folks. This guy is going to stay delusional and very oblivious to everything he's talking about in the hopes to justify something that will come up much later.
You're right, someone here is completely obvious to how much of an idiot they're being. Main problem is that it's not give and take.
So with reproduction being so integral to everything we know, why is it so taboo to talk about it? Bring up talk of penis in the park, and you will get scowls from passers-by. Introduce vagina into a conversation at a dinner party, and people will tell you to stop it.
Gee, it might be taboo to talk about that stuff in public, because it's not freaking normal!
Because speaking for everyone is part of my job. It's under my job description in Section 7-B, being an unlikable prick. You should also see Section 9-E, attempt to hide my Irish accent.
What are you talking about, laddie?
Clay, that's racist!
Maybe, but race and therefore racism are just mere concepts created by man. What exactly makes me pointing out Henry's hidden accent in a comedic fashion racist? And what significance does it hold in our universe? What even is the purpose of our lives? Also, I'm from Texas! What did you expect?
I expected Sonic being the racism, that's what!
You don't just go out in public and, hey, do you know how many women I just got with last night? Gee, it was fan-freaking-tastic!
Yes, but that's exactly his argument. Sex is an average thing that almost every living thing on the planet does. And he's questioning why we think of it as taboo and not freaking normal.
Dude, I don't know if you heard about this, but there are some things in life that go without saying, like pissing and shitting. Everybody knows we piss and shit, and almost every other species known to mankind does this, but we don't talk about it because it's too disgusting to discuss!
Oh, look.
You know, I just can't believe that this guy would even think that that was a good idea to say.
Most of the time, the reasoning for this apparent rejection of such topics is that children might hear, and if children hear about sex, they will explode.
So apparently the only reason we don't talk about that stuff in public is because kids.
And do you want to know why we don't bring up sex to children? It's because kids are too young and too stupid to know anything about sex. They don't know what an abortion is, they don't know what rape is, they don't even know what a hard-on is. To them, sex is like a completely bizarre, disgusting phenomenon to explore. Even if you taught these kids everything about sex, the positives, the negatives, and all that kind of shit, they still wouldn't get it and will be disgusted for life.
Disgusted by a thing you guys just said was something they were too stupid to understand.
It's because kids are too young and too stupid to know anything about sex.
But that's not the only reason. Want another reason? It's weird, it's kind of awkward, you might say. Oh, and it's not good conversation material.
Please
get back!
But sometimes there are no children around. Sometimes in a completely adult setting, some people still don't want you to mention what your favorite porn star is because it's embarrassing.
Dude, not everything on everyone's personal lives, secrets, and personal interests are acceptable and appropriate to talk about.
This is one of the dumbest points I've ever heard in my life.
Yet both of them get 10 times angrier later in the video. Oh, and on another note, let Give and Take finish his freaky point before you open your mouth, you coconut-flavored jelly bean! What? Coconut flavor sucks.
You don't talk about that stuff, because as I previously stated, it is freaking awkward and disgusting.
That's because it's their business and not everyone else's. Nobody in their right mind would ever give out their own personal embarrassing moments or disgusting stuff that they've done to public because it could ruin their representation and in some cases become laughingstocks.
Once again, not every single person is you. There are different types of social groups, there are different types of people. And seriously, how the heck would saying, oh, I watch porn, ruin their reputation? Also, mini tangent right now, but please stop calling it representation. Unless in your case it ruins Diamond Tiara somehow. That's not how that word works.
Just look at Christian Weston Chandler.
Chris Chan's reputation wasn't ruined because he expressed his sexual desires. It was because he was a sick individual who had serious mental issues and at some point started committing crimes. And if you honestly think that the people that Gibbon described are comparable to Chris Chan, then that's just stupid, and you should feel bad for saying it.
These people presumably have had sex, or at least know what sex is, And it's pretty much certain that every adult has watched porn at least once, or fantasized about sex. It's ingrained in our DNA. We all want to bang.
Ha 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 ha. Subtle.
Also, don't you just love assumptions?
You know, like the idiotic assumptions you guys keep making in this video?
Gee, I love assuming that everybody has watched that stuff at one point. You know, it's almost like this isn't completely true at all. Some adults don't watch that because they themselves have a level of standards and they don't want to lower themselves to what they consider embarrassing, idiotic, disgusting in some cases, and many other things.
So basically they don't want to lower themselves to this video.
So don't go assuming every adult has watched it.
And you should have known this by now, since in your history lesson you gave out an example that there are some cells out there that don't want to reproduce.
But at one point, one of these organisms, due to a random mutation, is created with no desire at all to reproduce itself.
Yeah, should I remind you of that?
So why is it embarrassing? Well, it's down to a number of factors. Some people just find it icky for their own personal reasons.
And yet, that's not enough to convince you why people don't mention sex?
Jesus Christ! That is his point! That is his entire point! Before he was posing a question, and now he's answering that question. Holy cheese crackers and bacon-covered orphan dolphin babies!
Skip it!
Nothing about sex is really inherently bad or wrong. It's just what everybody thinks. Everybody realizes that it's inappropriate to talk about tits and ass to a 5-year-old. But the 5-year-old in question isn't going to be mentally damaged by that conversation.
How can you be so sure about that?
That child could think, what? This is disgusting. I don't like it. They'll grow up scarred by it because of that horrible experience they had as a child, and they'll never want to go near it. He does not want to hear about that. Now do you want children to see it?
Which is exactly his point. Make up your mind. Will they get scared, or will they not get it? You can't be disgusted if you do not understand it.
Furthermore, let the guy finish his statement!
But it's not going to turn them into a sex offender, unless you're literally telling them it's okay to rape, which of course isn't true because that isn't consensual.
Okay, I want all of you people to keep this in mind. He says that rape isn't consensual. And for that matter, let's put bestiality in there as well, because that's considered rape, and that also too is not consensual. And let's just say that every fictional character known to mankind has the same amount of rights as we do.
But I thought assuming was bad.
Yeah, it's totally not like he's only saying that as a lame crutch to make him seem more valid.
Fictional characters can be humans as well.
Skip it!
Henry, where did you skip us to?
Trust me, Jim. You thought this was bad? When we get to ponies, this is gonna be the worst thing you ever watched.
So the basic idea of all I just said is that sex isn't bad. Sex isn't rude or inappropriate. Sex is the most normal thing ever.
I said this before and I'll say it again. Regardless of everything that sex has to offer, how common it is, and how important it is to everyone on the planet, sex is not something that everyone will understand easily. Sex is not something that people could do without any problems. Sex isn't something that everyone will enjoy. It's not always acceptable. It's not always comfortable. It's not always appropriate to everyone, to every environment you go, to everything in life.
You are quite literally saying exactly what Give and Take said.
So, the reason why you brought up sex, gave out a history lesson, explained how important and common sex is, gave out stupid arguments about how picky society is by not talking sex to children, and how embarrassing it is to talk about it in public. You brought up all that shit, all for the sake of justifying falling in love with fictional characters from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic?
You see, the pony design from Gen 4, at least, is very human and abstracted. It barely looks anything like a pony at all. They're all unrealistically coloured, except for a few like this one here. The muzzle is very short and almost looks like a nose. The manes are shaped like hairstyles that a human could easily sport. The head is so big in proportion to the body, which makes it look very small. The eyes are huge and have irises. Seriously, have you ever looked at a horse's eye? It's just black. And the hooves look very squishy and can hold things.
So what you're telling me is that the designs from My Little Pony Generation 4 are nothing like a pony.
It doesn't change the fact that they're still fucking horses! How the fuck does every detail you just brought up make the ponies human?
You wanna know why else they look human and abstract? It's a little thing called personification. Make something more human, and it's easier to relate to. Because, simply put, since we are human, at least I think we are, we can relate to something that is us. At least more like us.
So basically exactly what he just said.
Not to mention the things that ponies do are very human. Wearing clothes, making clothes, having a currency, living in houses, using pneumatic drills. It's so very human.
Hey buddy, you wanna know what other cartoons out there have animals do human-like things? Looney Tunes? Disney cartoons? Oh, for the hell of it. Every cartoon known to mankind! And out of every fucking cartoon show out there in the world that probably had more sophisticated people, an established universe, and has its own laws of physics that probably would come really close to reality, why is My Little Pony Generation 4 the only show that matters to you?
Okay, Jim, you've obviously proven to me you can't understand what's going on, so let me walk you through this. He never, ever said that MLP was the only one that mattered. It's just that MLP is the most controversial, you following me here, Jim? Controversial example. He said absolutely nothing about those other cartoons not mattering. In fact, your argument shouldn't have even existed. Hell, this whole video shouldn't have even existed because I wouldn't be coming close to having a migraine.
Well, you've killed Ryan. Good job.
So the ponies are very human. They're very human-like.
Okay, 3 things. 1, no. 2, no. And 3, no! Everything you've said did not make the ponies look anywhere as close to be like humans.
Oh yeah, nothing human-like in the slightest.
But that doesn't immediately make them sexy, does it? Of course not. They're sexy because they have traits that resemble a certain kind of human. A kind of human that attracts heterosexual males and homosexual females. They got curves, girl!
What?!
Look at that, it's like a circle.
What?!
Oh yeah.
Jim, please tell me we heard just the exact same thing.
You heard that joke too?
So, ponies are sexy because of the curves.
Hey Jem, this 2DS is pretty freaking attractive.
Please,
Hey,
you gotta
baby,
be fucking
you
kidding
got
me.
curves.
I still want an explanation. Why?
The curves are attractive because human females, when they reach puberty, have their thighs wider.
No!
Which is helpful in carrying and delivering a baby.
No! I'm skipping this comparison because it's full of bullshit. It makes no fucking sense. Ponies from the show and humans are not equal to each other. Next!
Jim, why do I have the feeling this video is gonna turn you into a gem gauge?
Shut up, Henry! I'm not in the mood of your bullshit!
Skip it!
It isn't wrong, it isn't sick or twisted, it's just porn, and it's perfectly natural. You reserve the right to refuse it to be shown in certain places. You reserve the right to think it's really weird and horrible. But you do not reserve the right to judge and be prejudiced against people by what they do in their own time by themselves. These are all fictional characters after all. Nobody's getting hurt, and nobody will get hurt.
Yeah, what a nice way to justify fantasizing and lusting over fictional characters. I really wanna fucking murder you.
What the heck happened?
Oh, Jem said he wanted to murder Gibbon.
Oh my god, are you fuck?
Jem, we shouldn't murder.
But this guy is fucking ridiculous!
Unless you decide to start fighting.
Finally! That was the ending of this video. Okay guys, here are my final thoughts, and I'm going to be very honest with you people. I've seen a lot of shitty videos on my day. I've seen commentators commentate on a lot of shitty videos. Ryan Rhino Mills, The Masked Star Maker, Revan Realm, David Washer, Dirtbike Reddit, Dirt Turfy, Azumangadioh Fan, Ski Hound, TOG Professor, Youngblood Fantasy, Dark Agumon, Blue Flame, Sapano, even fucking Evan Yagi!
And you left me out.
You piece of...
My point is, this is the worst video I have ever seen in my entire life. It doesn't just suck. It disgusts me. It insults me. And it makes me feel really bad to know that I was once part of the bronies.
Oh, wah. Somebody has a fetish you don't like. It's totally going to affect you.
And before anyone says anything, yes, not all bronies are awkward, disgusting. They're acceptable, you know, tolerant. But it's people like him that make the bronies look so bad and get criticized for doing something stupid. This video is the equivalent of a serial killer trying to justify murder through one of the most bullshit excuses imaginable.
So someone having a fetish is on par with murder. Flawless logic.
Oh, I don't see why society makes a huge deal out of someone killing another person, because if we're going to arrest people for killing, we might as well arrest the Grim Reaper himself. He gets a free pass, so why don't we? The reason I say this is because death is a natural part of life. Everyone dies. So even if we don't kill, we're still gonna die anyway from age and sickness. And besides, killing isn't always senseless. I mean, sometimes we do it to vent our frustration. Sometimes we do it for revenge. Sometimes we do it for fun. And it's sickening. You're pretty much promoting bestiality in this video.
Jem, let me ask you a question. Do you even understand how the very definition of bestiality is actually having sex, listen to me clearly, actually having sex with an animal? This is just finding cartoon horses attractive.
Now let me just say this. If you like the show because of its story, its characters, the humor, and its morals that it gives, then good for you. All power to you. But having a fetish and lust towards these ponies could lead you to do something horrible one day that you'll end up regretting.
So let's use your logic here, Jem. By that logic, porn will lead to sexual assault, violent video games will lead to murder, and
I wanna put my wee-wee in a horse!
Hello guys, Jaffet Mario 21st here, and today something is gonna be different.
Are you gonna speak proper English, or is that too much to ask for?
But I'm still going to upload some SMW related stuff.
Whew, good. I was worried he was gonna devote his whole channel to making really crappy commentaries.
It's gonna be different. First, we're going to have a commentary on a series called Bad Games, created by GligayTurdteenPiss.
Well, geez, that was brutal. That escalated quickly, my gosh.
And I will just call him GligayTurdteenPiss.
Real mature, bro. Real mature.
So let's just roll the video.
Alright, today I'm going to talk about more games that are just overrated. Today I'm going to be reviewing Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo.
Where we are now, like 10 seconds in. I rather listen to Justin Bieber than this voice.
Boy, you insulted Justin Bieber, whoop-de-doo.
Now, this game was one of the first Super Nintendo games, and because it had the Mario logo slapped on it, it sold well. However, the main problem is the Mario series isn't that great. The Mario series isn't that great.
Screw you, you big black cunt!
Yeah, Gligar's the blackest person I know.
Get your balls in your face!
Was that reference necessary? At all? Also, I don't think ERB would appreciate you using their videos to harass someone.
Sure, it might have, quote, revolutionized
Is that just like uncommon in your country or something?
Gaming, but even if a game was, quote, revolutionary, that doesn't always mean it is, quote, good.
So you said if a game revolutionized gaming, it's considered as the worst game ever.
Actually, you said not all revolutionary games are good games.
But first, I'd like to clear out that Street Fighter revolutionized fighting games and Tetris revolutionized puzzle games. So are they bad games or good games? I have no idea.
Well, that doesn't really surprise me.
Because after all, there are many bad games that were hailed as revolutionary. Just look at a certain other game franchise. You know the one. It starts with an S.
I don't know what games starts with the letter S that revolutionized gaming. Is it has to do with the blue hedgehog and his fast and his partner's a two-tailed fox? I think that's extremely irrelevant from this case. I have no idea.
Sonic isn't really helping himself right now.
Anyways,
Anyways,
mocking someone's voice is not funny.
Mario is just the same game over and over. They just take the word Mario, slap it on it, go into a level editor, change the levels around, and sell it as a new game, and fanboys buy it.
First of all, I'd like to point out that before you talk, think for a while. Super Mario Bros. 1 is different from Super Mario Bros. 2 USA. Then 2 USA is different from 3, and 3 is different from World.
Well, I know about Super Mario Bros. 3, but not about Super Mario Bros. 3. Also, about the real Super Mario Bros. 2, you know, the Lost Levels, it's exactly like the first game except harder.
When you think about it, it's different. But when I think of Call of Duty, it's the same.
And you would know this because you've played every single Call of Duty game, right? That's how you would be able to know that they're all the same.
But hey, it does sell millions every time, so let's see if it's actually good.
Spoiler alert! It's bad!
Now, the first problem you'll notice with this game is that it's not fun at all.
You think maybe he's saying that because he's a troll?
The controls are laggy and awkward.
Look 3 seconds ago when I made this point. Oh yeah, that should say complaint.
Apparently, somebody at Nintendo thought it was a great idea to make the keys mapped all weirdly.
Whoa, wait. So you said keys instead of buttons. So he's actually playing on an emulator.
So what? You use an emulator too to do all your hacking stuff.
Of course, emulator has a chance that it has laggy controls because they are called emulators. They are not 100% accurate. Or maybe it's just your keyboard aging that bad. Who knows?
So, B, X, and Y both do the same thing as, say, other keys.
Again, it's buttons, not keys if you're using the real SNES.
Why does that matter? Consoles can lag just as badly as emulators.
So when you're using Yoshi, not only does the speed up button, one button jumps, one button eats, the controls are pretty damn confusing.
Well, maybe because you're not the master of Mario controls.
So you have to be a Mario expert to play Mario World properly.
It doesn't help that there's an input lag when you're playing it, so it feels like you're lagging whenever you play the game. And yeah, happens on my real system, happens on the bestest best emulator. I'm not using ZSNES, I'm using BSNES, by the way, to minimize all input lag caused by any capture card, since after all...
Oh my goodness! Wow, he really does suck at Mario. He can't collect that first damn Yoshi coin!
You know, maybe it's because he's trying to make the controls look bad.
Capture cards can cause input lag. And look, I have trouble because these stupid...
references because why not?
Stupid laggy controls. Half the time you'll push the A button and it just won't register.
You think maybe that went off because he doesn't care because he's a troll?
And the layouts, just like Super Mario Kart, is confusing too. And you can't remap layouts unless you use an emulator, so too bad.
What the hell? Can you at least repeat the video for me?
You can't remap layouts unless you use an emulator, so too bad.
Dude, is this your first time playing the game? Because by the looks of it, you die at the Banzai Bill.
Because he's trying to make the controls look bad.
When there's clearly a safe spot. What a suck noob.
I have a question. What is a suck noob?
I don't know if it's a weird word or not.
I'm sorry, what was that? If only I knew what you were saying.
And the whole game is just the same. Run to the end of the level.
You mean like every other game?
Yeah, in every game you have to get to the end of the level. You never just have some sort of objective, like kill all the enemies or something.
It's not fun at all. It's boring.
He's right. The review is boring.
And so is your video, congratulations.
The controls suck, and yeah, the only good thing I can really say is the graphics are alright though. I mean, this was the first Super Nintendo game, so the graphics are alright for its day, but of course there are much better Super Nintendo games, and ones with much better control layouts too. The music, while memorable, is super overrated. I mean, come on. It's not that great video game music, and plus, who would want to listen to looped all day long?
I don't know, maybe old school gamers?
Why not just redo the audio? Plus, that point makes no sense.
Not me. But hey, I'm not a 6-year-old.
But hey, you play like one.
Ad hominem at its dumbest.
And about the gameplay, another problem with the gameplay is the fact that the two different jumps can be confusing, so you might hit one jump instead of the other. I do that a lot, it's annoying as fuck.
That doesn't make sense, and you said this.
Screw you, you big black cunt!
Oh, wait, don't swear, there's kids in the background!
You're so hypocritical that it's funny.
Okay, first of all, those two jumps, they're in a different button. So how the hell you can get confused if they're in a different button? Did I just say wrong grammar there? I don't know.
But you see, if you look beyond all the control problems, the main problem with Super Mario World is it's just flat out not fun at all. I mean, seriously, this game's kind of boring, it's kind of blandish, and plus, it's been done so many times already too. Like, every Mario game is the same thing. Super Mario Bros., the original one from the 80s, has the exact same gameplay. They just changed like 3 things.
Can you tell us the 3 things they change? Oh, wait, don't worry. You can repeat your point over and over again.
I know this is off topic, but is it just me or does he sound like Tommy Wiseau?
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, wait, don't worry.
And it's a new game. So all in all, don't buy this game. Unless you're a 6'6" who's never played any actual good games.
Ouch, the insult just hit in my heart. Oh.
Since when did heart mean childhood?
Oh, I can't believe you insult me. I'm a 6-year-old. Even you play like one. Oh, my heart. I think I might have a heart attack.
What was that you said about repeating the same points?
And thinks this is their idea of fun.
Hey, Gligar, what do you do for fun? I don't know. How about repeat my point and never elaborate them? Never pass the first level and I already call this game suck? That's fun! Oh.
Hey Gligar, what do you do for fun? I say good games are bad to get a reaction out of people.
Don't buy this.
Of course I don't need to buy this because I can download it in the damn internet. Because you're also doing the same thing. You don't even buy the game, you just download the damn game.
What was that about not swearing?
So what do you think about the review? I would like to say the review is extremely boring in my opinion. First of all, he never actually said the whole mechanics like Yoshi, the Bowser Balls, some other stuff.
Well, you're a specific one.
The cape, the fire flower, anything. But he just complained about the gameplay, 6-year-old children's, and more. So yeah, it's actually insulting the Mario fans, they're 6-year-old.
Well, that ended suddenly.
We're going to do something I haven't done in a while on Further Look. We're going to do a commentary. And this time it's actually on someone's commentary on a video I made, actually. It was the top 5 worst YouTubers list. This Miss Azumangadioh fan 101 does not like it. So let's actually see her criticism and let's see if she's valid or not.
Yeah, she did a commentary on this guy's top 5 worst YouTubers list, and now he's responding to it. So let's get this started.
Alright, we haven't even really started the video and I'm already finding problems. Well, let me point out the obvious one. I'm sorry, but you need to do something about that intro. It's very poorly done. I know not everybody has the equipment to do decent intros, but you can do a lot more with Windows Movie Maker than you can think. And there's also, the music choice doesn't seem to fit either. But I think the biggest problem here is that it's just another commentary.
Look, pal, if you've got a problem with her commentary, make actual retorts to her points. Don't whine about her intro. I know it's fairly common to do. Heck, I've been guilty of it, but it adds nothing and really just looks nitpicky. Just skip it. Oh, wait!
But I think the biggest problem here is that it's just another commentary using an anime character. Why don't you do something original for once, please?
Coming from the guy who uses the same picture throughout his video, with a background taken from Gravity Falls, and an original character that bears a striking resemblance to Toothless the Dragon, I really wouldn't be talking. Besides, using an anime character doesn't immediately make you unoriginal. Sure, lots of people use anime characters, but you're treating them as if they all use the exact same character. Using an anime character doesn't immediately make your video unoriginal. Doing something that everyone else has done is unoriginal, like a top worst YouTubers list.
Ah, YouTube, what an interesting site you are. So many good things have come out of this, yet for every blockbuster critic and cartoon hangover, there's an irate gamer and Smosh cartoons on the opposite spectrum.
Well, thank God the irate gamer is in no way a dead topic.
What does me mentioning the irate gamer have to do with anything? All I said is that he's on the opposite spectrum. I'm saying, for every good YouTuber, there's a bad YouTuber. I'm shocked you didn't get that.
Yes, but she was pointing out not only that he's very outdated, considering he doesn't even do his AVG and knockoff reviews anymore, but she also pointed out that he's a dead horse. Some would even call you unoriginal!
Wow! You must be new here because you just did one of the biggest mistakes any YouTube commentary can make. You skip through the video. You don't do that. You simply don't. This is a 10-minute video, so why are you skipping around? Because if you skip around, it just shows that you don't want someone to see a certain point, and how can we take your word for it there?
That argument could make sense if you used it in proper context. However, in Azu's commentary and your original video, it's perfectly fine to skip over a segment, seeing as how entry 5 and 4 are completely unrelated. It's not a continued argument, per se. If she were to skip over a portion of your argument or edit it in order to make you look stupid, that would be lying. But here's the thing. She didn't!
What the buck? What the buck encapsulates everything generic about YouTube vloggers these days. Literally all he does is report on the most idiotic thing possible. Celebrity gossip. On top of the irrelevant garbage spewing out of this act's mouth, his lispy, flamboyant voice is unbearably awful.
Really? That's it? You know, What the Buck has got to be the most overdone celebrity gossip channel ever, especially when there are other gossip channels that are much more horrible, such as TMZ.
You do realize this is my personal opinions in these lists here. Now, I understand. People have talked about What the Buck before, and I understand that he's not the worst. But my point is, this list is going off of entertainment and merit, which What the Buck has none of those things. So, yes, that's all I really had to say. There's not much really needing to be said about it.
But you just agreed that TMZ was worse than What the Buck.
But even then you'd still be talking about something that everybody has talked to death about.
What the Buck is on this list due to him not only pandering to the lowest common denominator of the world's population, but he's also god-awfully annoying. Note to aspiring commentators, don't make a point until the person you're commentating on has finished theirs. Sometimes you end up contradicting yourself, saying, oh, they didn't elaborate as much, and then the next point they're elaborating. So keep that in mind, fellow commentators.
Like what you did a couple seconds ago?
Really? That's it? You know, What the Buck has got to be the most overdone celebrity gossip channel ever, especially when there are other gossip channels that are much more horrible, such as TMZ.
You do realize this is my personal opinions in these.
But even then you'd still be talking about something that everybody has talked to death about.
So, eat it.
Weird Al would be ashamed.
Joshua8428. Originally this video was going to be the top 5 worst commentators, but it turns out they're all gone.
Oh, really? Then how come we have people like Rhino Mills, MacBoy Redux, CS Bob, Ponder Sprocket, Azumangadioh Fan, Hyrobard, and many others making commentaries then?
And notice how none of them have a good fan base either that's dedicated to them. So my point is, the commentating community is kind of dead. I'm able to make the videos I can and whatever I want simply because I have people who will watch anything I do, because I make entertaining videos. My point is, a completely dedicated commentating channel just really isn't possible on YouTube anymore.
Not a lot of channels with a strong fan base, huh? Allow me if you don't mind. Akroloth2510, TOG Professor, Master TP10, Dirtbike Reddit, myself, and many others.
Just simply because after the whole debacle with the whole commentary community versus Blackbuster Critic, that community just kind of died off because they tried to defend something that they couldn't really defend. But if you really want to know more about that, just watch Blackbuster Critic's commentaries on those commentators. They're quite good. I recommend them.
Last I checked, there really was no Blackbuster Critic versus the commentary community. From what I know and have researched, Blackbuster Critic did a few commentaries, most of which were on trolls, and got into a debate with Youngblood Fantasy 91 over him shoving PC Master Rates down people's throats. I guess there was also the Mystery Oven thing as well, but that's all I can really think of. Oh yeah, I guess I could have mentioned this earlier, but this whole thing was about 2 years ago!
Now, what is so bad about Joshua 8428? To put it bluntly, has an annoying voice, of course, and he doesn't know how to take criticism. End of story. MSkull01.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a moment here. Okay. Let's continue.
Okay, why was that funny? I guess I'll find out in a second, so let's see.
Well, the meaning of the burst of laughter was implied, but allow me to explain it to you since context doesn't seem to be your forte. She was laughing because MSkull's been inactive for a long time and is pretty irrelevant now.
He has an annoying, lispy, flamboyant voice, he contradicts himself quite badly, and he simply can't make a video without having either of these two factors. One instance of this is when he claimed PM Rants to be a bad person for putting younger, kiddie YouTube partners on number 1 on his list simply because they're kids.
Yeah, I think you might be having one of those out-of-contextual experiences, because if you watched MSkull's video on PM Rants, you would know that he wasn't just upset because PM put kids on the list. He was also upset that PM put kids higher on the list than somebody who was profiting off death and suffering.
And there you go again, completely cutting off my points. I already elaborated on why MSkull was stupid for doing that. And I elaborated more so on why I didn't like him. You keep cutting off things to make your video 4 minutes long. It's a 6-minute video, for goodness sake. I know I said 10 before, but that was a mistake. At least I'm able to admit my mistakes, unlike you. But here's what I also noticed. You like to edit it to make it look like I'm saying one thing, but you completely leave out what I say next. And no, I understood what MSkull was saying. My point is, YouTubers should be judged by their entertainment merit and not whether they do this or do that. Sure, that can be brought in as a factor, but generally, when people make these top top 5 worst YouTubers lists, they're generally going off of their entertainment value. So that's why I put him number 1 on the list. You know, if I knew about you earlier, you probably would have ended up somewhere like number 6 on the list. Just saying. But you can improve. My point is, I'm doing this to show what you did wrong so you can improve your videos.
Here's my problem with almost everything you just said. First of all, you made baseless arguments like saying she never admits to her own mistakes, which you have no evidence towards. Second, the part she cut out wasn't too important, to be honest. In fact, keeping it in would have helped her argument. As you say this.
I have a little secret for you, M-Skull. Being a kid does not, in any way, excuse half-ass, subpar attempts at entertainment. End of story.
Essentially saying you expect the same high-quality content from a 13-year-old as you would from an adult.
Well, those were my top 5 worst YouTubers. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and be sure to be on the lookout for future videos like this. Hope you all have a good day.
Well, folks, now that the video is over, it's time to give my final thoughts. Well, I think the major problem with this video is that he only gives 1 or 2 points for each segment, and then he just skips over to the next one. Now, I really wouldn't mind this so much, except for the fact that he barely elaborates on the reason or reasons he gives for each segment in the video. Oh, and speaking of reasons, this list also seems really lazy because pretty much 3 out of the 5 entries on the list contain the reason of annoyance. So, basically, most of the entries on the list can be summed up like this.
This person is so annoying that it just uggs my uggometer.
Well, it shows you didn't really pay attention much. I did elaborate on my points, just not as much as you hoped, and annoyance is a valid argument here, because if I'm annoyed by the person when I'm trying to watch a video, it doesn't make me inclined to continue watching said video. Like I said, this list is judged by entertainment merit.
You know what I just realized? You've been repeating the whole entertainment value argument the whole time, and looking back at your list, you never mentioned that it was based on entertainment value. Sure, you said some of them were boring, but you never said they were ranked based on entertainment value. In fact, the only time you've mentioned this was in your response.
Well, anyway, that's all I gotta say. So, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Azumangadioh fan signing off.
And this is Mega Drive Sonic signing off. I have a feeling after this video is up, she's going to be very pissed once she sees this. You all have a good day.
So your only goal with this video was to annoy Azu. Now I can't tell if you were trolling the whole time or just blurted that out. But it seems like the only thing you did do was make yourself look even worse. And it seems like a lot of people aren't too happy about that.